Welcome back to another video. If you have a keen eye, you'll notice that things are starting to change on QuickBooks Online. We have my bank accounts showing that I added, and there's some other information too as we click on these tabs. As mentioned in previous videos, the more information you put into QuickBooks Online, the more useful the software is going to be. Not just for obvious things like reports, but all these dashboards and things really come to life the more information you have on the software. It's now time for us to move into the sales ledger side of QuickBooks Online. So we're going to be looking into adding customers, viewing customer accounts, creating statements, recording payments from customers. We will have a look at raising invoices for customers and all those sorts of things. Now we access the sales ledger or the customer module by going to invoicing just here. It might not be called invoicing on your QuickBooks Online. It might be called customers or sales, something like that. But it's all the same. Once you actually click on the button, you'll have this overview with these tabs at the top here. Now to access the actual customer screen and to see the customers that are on QuickBooks Online and the balances owed by those customers, we just need to click on the customer tab here. Now all these tabs are also accessed through using the drop down list here, so you can see that these tab names are identical to the drop down list names just here. So if I click on invoices, it just takes me to this tab here. So you can use the tabs at the top of the page or use the drop down list that appears under sales, customers or invoicing, whatever the sales ledger is called on your version of QuickBooks Online. So this is the sales list. This is a list of all the customers currently on QuickBooks Online. If you have nothing showing, it means that no customers have been added. And that's what we're going to do in this video, is add some customers to QuickBooks Online. With this list, it's very similar to previous lists like the chart of accounts in the sense that we can search for customers using this search box. So if we have lots of customers on QuickBooks Online and we don't want to scroll through to find those customers, we can simply search for the customer, which is a lot quicker. It's also very similar to the chart of accounts in the sense that we can print this customer list, we can download it, we can also choose what shows. So if we want email addresses to show, if I just tick that box, there will be a column for email addresses. If we want addresses to show, I can tick that box and then any addresses will show. So you can simplify the list or have as much information on the list as you like. As also with the chart of accounts, we can show the customers in alphabetical order, in project order. We can have a look at customers in balance order. All these lists are very similar on QuickBooks Online. It's really up to you how you want the information to be displayed. For me, I just like things in alphabetical order. It's generally the simplest way of doing things. Putting customers in balance order is helpful sometimes just to see what is outstanding and who owes you the most amount of money. Now to add a new customer to QuickBooks Online, it's really easy. We should go to the top right here and click on New Customer. You do have to be on this Customer tab. You'll notice if I'm on the Invoice tab, there isn't a New Customer button. If I go to Products and Services, there isn't a New Customer button. It's only on this Customers tab that you'll find New Customer. So we simply click on New Customer and we fill in the details. So let's add the Bookkeeping Master as a customer. So that's me, Samuel Morton. The company is the Bookkeeping Master. The display name is the name you want to show on this list, the display name on QuickBooks Online. If I start typing, it will just copy the company name or the contact names. I can even start typing Samuel Morton and that will appear also. But let's do the Bookkeeping Master. The more information you fill in these boxes, the better. So we have an email address. If I put that in, phone number, fax number. I don't think anyone really uses fax nowadays, but you can put a fax number, other number, their website. And then we come to these bottom boxes. So we have the customer's address. So 123 example street, example town. There's also an option for a shipping address. So if the billing address and the shipping address are different, simply untick this box and enter the shipping address. This shipping address is used for delivery notes and that sort of thing, whereas billing address is used for invoices. Now most of the time it's going to be the same, so just leave this box as ticked. But if there is a different shipping address to the billing address, then you can enter that here. There's a number of tabs here. Once again, I suggest you fill out as much information as you can because it's really going to help you later on. So if I click on notes here, there's a section for notes. You can create notes about the customer. You could have like a to-do list or an action list for this customer. Contact on so-and-so, speak to so-and-so. So there's like this unique list that you can create for each customer, and that is the same with suppliers, which we'll go through later on. Under tax info, you can enter tax codes, company registration numbers, that sort of thing. Payment and billing. It's important that you fill this information out because when we raise invoices, it will use the information here as the default. So if the preferred payment method is by credit card, and the terms are always going to be net 15, if you enter these on the customer record, it will save you having to select this when raising an invoice. It will come up by default. Now there are some options here for a preferred delivery method and also opening balance. If they're applicable, you can complete them. Under language, you can choose a few different languages here, the most commonly spoken languages in the world. If you want to send your invoices in French, Spanish, Italian, Chinese, Portuguese, or English, you can choose that in this list here. And what it will basically do is when you raise an invoice, it will be in the language you've chosen. It will translate your invoice into one of these languages, which I think is a really unique and cool feature that QuickBooks Online offers. Under attachments, you can attach documents to this customer file, this customer account. Perhaps if you have like a credit agreement with them, you can attach that. Or if there is some sort of contract they've signed, you could attach that to the customer account. You can be creative and just think of the best way to use this attachments feature. Now to make things interesting and just to demonstrate this to you, let's choose Chinese, and you'll see later on when we raise an invoice for this customer, it will be in Chinese. So let's save that, and the customer account has been added. If I click on this option here, I'll go back to the customers list. Let's create another one. Now something you wouldn't have seen when creating this customer account is the currency to bill this customer in, and that's because multi-currency has not been enabled. If you've been following this course from the beginning, you'll know that I did not enable multi-currency. If you do have that enabled, then there will be an option within this creation to choose the currency for that customer. Now once the currency has been selected for a customer or a supplier for that sake, you cannot change it. It's set in stone. So you'd fill in this information. I'm just doing this really silly and quickly now. Fill in the address, fill in these tabs, and once you're happy, let's click save, and then this customer has also been created. So on the customer list here, we have the Bookkeeping Master, and we also have this customer. So I added these two in this video. Hopefully this helps. In the next video, I will go through editing these customer accounts.